Okay, so let's have a look at section 5.2, which are special products. So what we mean by a special product is if it looks like this, if you have a binomial and it's being squared, okay? So something like x plus 3 squared, just like any number that's squared, it's just you're multiplying it by itself. So if it's a binomial squared, it's like x plus 3 times x plus 3. Okay, and this is how you would have simplified it yesterday. You would have taken the first term and multiplied these two together, so x times x, which is x squared. Then you have done x times 3, which is positive 3x. Then 3 times x, which is positive 3x. And then 3 times 3, which is 9. And then, of course, you would simplify it, and you would add your like terms in the center. So your simplified trinomial is x squared plus 6x plus 9. Okay? Now, what makes this a special product is that I can just go from the binomial squared to the simplified trinomial if I recognize the patterns that are happening. Okay, so I'm just going to explain the pattern, and then I'm going to show you how you can go from the binomial squared to the simplified trinomial. So the first term in this trinomial, hopefully you notice that this first term is squared. So this is x, and then you square x and you get x squared. Okay, I look at this 3. If I square 3, I get 9, which is the same as the last term in my trinomial. Okay, and the middle is if I take x and I times it by 3, I get 3x, and then I double it, I get 6x. So what makes this special is you can go from the binomial squared right to the simplified trinomial. So given that, let's look at this binomial. And let's just go squared, and let's just go straight to the simplified trinomial. So what I would do is I would take the first term and I would square it. So I would get x squared. Okay? Then I know to get the middle, I take these two numbers, I multiply it, and I double it. So I would take x and I multiply it by -4 because of that subtraction sign. That makes that 4 negative. So x times -4, which is -4x. I double -4x and I get -8x. Okay? Then I take that -4 and I square it to get +16. And there's my simplified trinomial. Now let's suppose you forgot the pattern. Could you do it by FOIL the way you did it yesterday? Absolutely. Right? You could totally do it the way you did yesterday. X times x, x squared. X times -4, -4x. -4 times x, -4x. -4 times -4, +16. And then, of course, you've got your middle term, which will simplify to -8. So the nice thing about a special product is if you do know the pattern, you can go straight to the final answer. If you don't remember the pattern and you're just left guessing, then of course you can write the binomial 2 times and then use FOIL. Okay, so with these two, let's not do FOIL. Let's just, again, just kind of review how you could go from the binomial squared to the simplified trinomial. So once again, you're going to take that first term and you're going to square it. So 2x times 2x, or squaring it, is 4x squared. Okay? Then you take 2x and multiply by 3 to get 6x. Then you double it to get 12x. Because it is positive, you write plus 12x. And then you square the 3 to get 9. And there you go. Once again, you could always write this bracket twice and do FOIL. Okay, let's do the last one here. Take 3x and square it, and you get 9x squared. Take 3x and times it by -2, -6x. Double it, negative 12x. Then you take the last term and you square it, and it becomes positive 4. Okay? The one thing that hopefully you notice is, see this last term, positive 9, positive 16, positive 9, positive 4. It's always going to be positive because you're squaring. Anytime you square a number, it's positive. Your first term also will be positive. The middle term, that depends. If this is positive, the middle term is positive. If this is negative, your middle term is negative. And same idea here, positive, positive, negative, negative. Okay, so this here just explains the pattern. Okay, at the bottom here, I've just written a rule. So again, there's a PDF. There's going to be that the PDF in the content section, so you can just print it or have a look at it. So once again, you square the first term. That's where this x squared comes from. X times y, xy, and then you double it. You times it by 2, and you square the y to get y squared. Once again, if this is positive, this is positive. And this is exactly the same, but if it's a minus sign, your middle term will be minus. Okay? Now there are two special products. One is a binomial squared, and the other one is this. Okay? So let's just have a look at it for a moment. This is x plus 4, x minus 4, y minus 5, y plus 5, 2x minus 1, 2x plus 1. There's a pattern with this special product. The one thing hopefully you noticed is that these x's are the same, okay? And the other thing hopefully you notice is that these numbers are similar, right? One's positive, one's negative. This is negative, this is positive. The order of the positive, negative doesn't matter because order of multiplication doesn't matter. So once again, you could multiply this by FOIL, just like you did yesterday. So x times x, x squared, x times negative 4, negative 4x, 4 times x, positive 4x, and then 4 times negative 4, negative 16. Let's simplify it. Again, the middle has where your like terms are. This is negative 4x plus 4x, and hopefully you tell me that equals 0. So this is gone. So then I'm just left with x squared subtract 16, like that. Okay? So let's have a look at this one. So y times y, y squared, y times positive 5y, negative 5 times y, negative 5y, negative 5 times positive 5, negative 25. Once again, the middle term was where we have the like terms. This is positive 5 minus 5, so that simplifies to 0. So then you're left with y squared minus 25. Now, this is a special product also. So what's going to happen always in all of these questions is the middle term is always going to simplify to 0 because one of them will be positive, one will be negative. The order of that doesn't matter. So if you recognize that and recognize this as a special product, you can go straight from the multiplication to the simplified product. So what you're going to do is take 2x and times it by 2x, which is 4x squared. And then you're going to take negative 1 times it by positive 1, which is negative 1. I know because this is 2x minus 1 and 2x plus 1, that my middle term will simplify to a 0. Once again, if you don't remember the pattern, don't guess it. Just do it the way you did yesterday when you did FOIL, or the way we started it. Okay, because you're gonna get the same answer. But if you know the pattern, it just makes it faster, that's all. So once again, I can, using the pattern, I take 3x, times it by 3x, which is 9x squared, and then 2y times it by negative 2y, which is negative 4y squared. Now this only works for the special product. So if it looks like this, the first number is the same, the second number is the same other than the sign, so that they have opposite signs, or like we had in the beginning. right? Where you have a binomial squared. Anything else is not a special product, okay? So here it just kind of summarizes the pattern. And again, here's a rule. The first numbers are the same. The second number, one is positive, one is negative. So once again, x times x, x squared, y times negative y squared. And the one thing hopefully you notice is what sign is it always here? It's always a subtraction sign. Why is it subtraction? Because you're multiplying a positive with a negative. So it will always be subtraction. And you'll always have just two terms because the middle term simplified to a 0. That's it.